Well, hello. Welcome from Takes from Obvious Bozos. I believe it's episode 35. That's what I put in the document. So I sure hope I have it correct when it's posted. I'm Drew. Joining me as always is our bozo, our rising bozo, the young one, Zach himself. Zach, how you doing?
I'm great. I like that title. It took 35 episodes for a good title to spawn in.
I'll keep. Nice. No, I actually didn't like that one, but I'll figure out a better one for you. But then this one I had locked up because I knew he was coming on, and I was like, I need a good title for this one. This is the Bozo in Chief himself.
That's
the Bozo in Chief, right?
Yep. Yeah, Alex, I think that fits. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that fits. Right, Alex. Well, welcome again. How's it feel to be a second time guest on this show?
Illustrious, obviously. I feel if this goes the way of Locked On Knicks, I'll just have like 30 more guest appearances on here, and eventually I'll take your job, just like I did for the game. So
please do.
We'll see how it goes.
You could take it. You could take it, and you could take it with Zach. That's fine.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
He's like, absolutely not.
No fucking way.
So today's going to be a fun episode because the Knicks are out of the playoffs, unfortunately. So that's not the fun part. But the fun part's going to be we are going to review some takes that our written roundtables had for each playoff round. So I'm going to pull some questions for that. We're going to guess who gave the take for the Pistons series and for the Celtics series and for the Indiana series. That's going to be on the free preview. And this is why, again, you need to go to thestrick.land or you go to patreon.com/the Strickland, because on the Patreon side, which will be the full episode of this, we are going to review Tom Thibodeau takes from the inception of Takes from Obvious Bozos. So that means we are going to review takes since 2022 of Tom Thibodeau takes all the way to the present. So again, like, you need to sign up for, Strict.land. You'll see the Patreon banner. Sign up for the $6 tier. You get the full episodes of this, Friday episodes of Pod Strickland. $9 tier gets you the Strictly NFL show. You'll get written articles from Matthew Miranda. Like, go to Patreon. That's what you need to do. You can also follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and that's all I can think of right now. I'm not promoting the other thing, so I'm not doing it. Can't do it. The X.
It's fine.
So, all right, guys. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna read the questions. Oh, the prompts, right? So you guys know, and then I'm gonna just randomly read the takes that we had from them, and you're gonna have to guess who wrote it. You guys ready?
Yep,
ready.
So from the Knicks Pistons series, we have a series over under 5.5 games. Who you got? Right? So I'll take the over, which is more about my lack of faith in Thibs at the moment than anything else.
Wow, what a ball.
Who had that take?
Prez?
Not Prez.
Schwinn or Prez?
It was Schwinn.
There you go. Yeah.
So we have one person. The next take will be Knicks in 5 in a gentleman's sweep. Be for real.
Colin?
Nope.
Maybe?
Remember last time when we thought every single take was Colin?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder when you don't know like who responded, because we have like 15 options, but I feel like only 5 of them are actually options of people who responded. So like,
most of the people. So for the Pistons one, we actually got a good amount because it was the first series. We got everyone locked in. It was the beginning of the playoffs. Between the Celtics and the Pacers, it's very narrowly only like 4 people after that. So you actually have a wide variety in the Pistons to choose from.
So Knicks in 5, be for real. I'm trying to think who wrote on this one.
This could be Prez.
It's not.
No, it wasn't Prez. Was it Shaq's?
Nope, it was me.
Oh, it was you.
God.
No, yeah, it should have.
I was
pulled from that
completely wrong.
Yeah.
You know how upsetting that was? That like the Knicks really should have won in 5. Like, honestly,
they should have. They could have. Yeah,
and they didn't. That was so fucking frustrating to watch.
Could have broken the MSG closeout streak a round earlier.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll go 6 no matter who wins.
Good take.
I know, that was a great take.
Was that me?
No matter who wins.
That was you. Good job, Alex, knowing what he wrote.
Yeah, it's rare. It's a rarity, but that sounds like me.
Did you were you actually firm, how firm were you when you were writing that? Like, how confident were you being
I was pretty
go to 6?
I was pretty confident that the Knicks were either going to have it go to 6 just by having it kind of a drag out series, or that they were going to get completely exposed and embarrassed, and it was going to cost Thibs his job right then and there. Which obviously it took a little longer than that, but they did eventually get kind of exposed and embarrassed as the playoffs went on. So
it was kind of crazy. It worked out because they were very close to getting 6, right? The Pistons could have had it's kind of crazy how that series went.
Yeah, on the margin. I figured it would be on the margins. So I mean, I was right about that, I guess. I didn't think the Knicks were going to come in and destroy them or anything, because the Pistons played really well last half of the season. So, and that bore out in the playoffs.
The next take is over. People say the regular season doesn't matter, but Detroit won the season series for a reason. It won't be easy based on how the Knicks have gone about in the previous matchups.
Is that Prez?
Close, but no.
Whichever one is the most down on the Knicks was Prez, because Prez literally made a 12-tweet thread saying that the Knicks were going to lose the series.
Yeah.
He said in 5 or 6 he thought they were going to lose the series, which is crazy. Is this one Shaq's?
That is Shaq's.
Yeah,
that is a good pull. Alex is doing really well. Zach, you need to step up your game.
I'm sorry, I'm washed. I was so not locked in at this point in time. I was too busy with other shit that I didn't get to respond to the roundtable. I probably didn't get to read the roundtable, so I'm at a disadvantage here.
It's almost like I edited this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The next one is the 0.5 is the tell. There will be at least one game where we command a lead in the first half, only to cough it up midway through the third quarter and lose in the fourth. So yes, 5.5, which really means 6. And since the 6th game is in Detroit, I wouldn't rule out 7.
Is this Miranda?
Close. That's the hint I'll give you. That is a close.
What do you mean close? That doesn't help.
That is it's very telling, because this person is very close to Matthew Miranda.
Did Joe participate in this one?
No, Joe did not. This
Colin?
No, Colin's not in this.
Okay.
There's your tell. Colin is not. I don't think Colin's in the playoff. This playoff one. This is none other than our guest writer for this.
Warren,
and showrunner of the beloved Law and Order SVU, Warren Light.
Yeah, I forgot Warren was in this one. Shit. Cool.
Good take.
That's fun.
Good take.
It was a good take.
That's why I said this is the man who is, like I said, he's close to Matthew Miranda. He's the only reason why the only reason why he reads us and associates with them. It's because the professor is that good at writing. We need Professor to write an episode of SVU, right?
I do think that needs to happen. I wouldn't rule it out, honestly, because Warren definitely really loves Professor. So
yeah, no, I would love nothing more than to have the Professor write an episode of SVU. It would make my life. I love that. I love that show. Okay, over. Thibs won't make any meaningful adjustments until Game 3 at the earliest. Oof, that could apply for every single series.
I think that's Prez finally.
That is Prez.
Yeah, whatever one was the most down on the Knicks, that was definitely Prez, because Prez was way down on them in this series. Yeah, so that makes sense.
The next one is this. Okay, Knicks in 4, because the Knicks were basically locked into their position months ago. We knew they weren't catching the Cavs and the Celtics, and knew no one behind them was likely to catch them. They didn't play many games that felt like a must-win. In 2021, the Knicks entered the last day of the season, able to end up anywhere from the 4th to 6th. Listen, you guys could stop me whenever you want to take a guess, because I am still going to be reading.
Oh my God, this is so long.
Keep going.
2 years ago, there was the suspense of over whether Julius Randle would return for the playoffs. Last year, they had to win their last 5 games, including an overtime finale against the Bulls, to clinch the second seed. Yeah, the second seed. We're not used to waiting in New York, but Knicks fans have been waiting for a while for a game that means something real. Meanwhile, the Pistons foul the crap out of teams, send a clown car of opponents.
Is this Stacy?
No, it's not Stacy.
It's so long-winded.
Yeah, who's writing all this?
It does read like Stacy, but it's not. Send a clown car of opponents to the line, turn the ball over, and have probably grown a bit soft after a month of having Vaseline rubbed on their heinies and hearing how their heinies are special and different from everyone else's. All because after being lousy for nearly 2 decades and historically putrid last season, they're now the worst winning team in the East. Slow clap.
Is this Miranda?
That is the professor.
Yeah, there's no other answer for that. Yeah.
The only other thing I was going to say is if James stepped in and I forgot about it, but that could, just for the heinies line, James would write something about their heinies being chapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Professor. Professor, you were so wrong. No, absolutely so wrong. The Pistons came to play that series. They really did. And that was upsetting. And then the last one is going to be, as much as I love to take the under because of the Pistons' lack of playoff experience and the Knicks' overwhelming talent advantage, I don't exactly trust many of Thibs' decisions as of late. I'm taking the over.
Good take. Probably Schwinn. No, we already had Schwinn.
No, we already had
Schwinn.
Was it Luka?
That is correct. That is
good take.
Luka.
Yeah.
Honestly, outside of myself and Miranda, everyone had a very good grasp on this Pistons series. Everyone was like, it is going 6. Thibs is going to screw up somehow.
Yeah.
And the Pistons are tough.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
I mean, the regular season does matter, in fact. It does tell you a lot about what teams are doing or not doing.
It's almost like you should try different things to see what works.
Yeah, it's almost like if the Knicks were fielding a lineup for the most minutes in the NBA that was a net negative for 4 months of the season, then maybe that was something worth taking note of, and that they weren't just chilling or whatever. Good to know.
Absolutely crazy. No, that you guys did very well on this one. I'm actually really disappointed it wasn't gentleman's sweep, because I really felt like I was going to nail that one, but no, you take a swing and you miss sometimes. But the professor going for and writing an entire dissertation, being that level of off, is very comical.
Pretty relatable. I should have caught that way earlier that was Miranda that wrote that one. But
yeah, the minute they went longer than 3 sentences, I was like, oh, this is who it is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so now we're on the Knicks Celtics series. So again, this is I think for most of us, we were like, this shit ain't happening, right? So, but we did have the prompt of, if the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals in a few weeks, how did it happen? Right? So who got it right? Who's if we pull off the upset, basically, what happens?
Someone already said that Porzingis would be deceased for the whole series. Somebody predicted that. Somebody got it spot on.
Are you reading it?
No, I'm kidding. I don't think anybody said that.
All right. So Jalen and Kat each averaged 30, and the Knicks were able to make the Celtics shoot below their season's average from three-point range. Boston launches and makes more threes than any other team in the NBA, and nearly this might actually be true, might need a fact-checked any team in NBA history. However, Missoula ball rarely switches up. So this mindset could be Boston's greatest asset or its greatest setback. And then the editor note was, they did, in fact, take and make the most threes in NBA history in the regular season.
I think I actually added that editor note, but I can't remember who wrote this.
This was pretty close. This was definitely a factor that they won. I don't think it was the reason they won, but it was definitely one of the reasons they won.
It definitely played a role.
The Celtics shooting as bad as they did in a couple of those games definitely won it for the Knicks. So
also them shooting as bad as they did and then not changing their offensive look at all, just being let's double down on this 3-point thing that isn't working.
Yeah. Was this
No, this was Luka.
Oh,
cool. Good take. He's cool. He's 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really funny? Like listening to this, you can use the same logic of if the Pacers block did exactly what we did. If the Pacers were to make the NBA Finals, what would it be? You could use the same logic for the Knicks of Thibs is going to play his lineup that didn't work.
Yeah,
for the entire regular season and playoffs, and we're going to play the lineups that do work. Therefore, we're going to have the best chance. And it's we actually just saw it. We just saw 2 stubborn coaches not deviate from their plan because they're like, this is how I play basketball, and it backfired on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Celtics, it was definitely like, I mean, we'll hear what the rest of the takes were here, but it was like they did not really have any ability to get inside, which is why Mitch blew it up so much for them. Like, and like a team that relied so much on 3-point shooting, once they finally got like a little bit contested from 3, just like didn't know how to fucking deal with it. So like, for all the things that Thibs will get shit on for today, that was definitely not one of them. I thought he did. The adjustment of like going to more switch heavy was definitely a big one in that.
No, I agree. Which was also great because there was a good amount of talk of the idea that like Mitch, like the Celtics are going to play Mitch off, and I always found that strange thinking about that because the Celtics allow teams to like not have to play in the paint defense, and then you have someone who's like an elite rim protector, an elite rebounder. You know what I mean? Like it just felt very strange to be like, no, they're going to cook Mitch. And it's like, I don't think they're going to cook Mitch because they have to take some shots in the paint at some point. They can't just jack up threes. And we actually saw it playing out that way. All right, next take is Mikal Bridges plays equally dominantly on both sides of the ball. He averaged 3.8 points against Boston without attempting a single free throw, mind you, in the regular season. Mikal did come up pretty big.
Was that a real stat? He averaged
that's shocking. I did not realize it was that bad. Like,
I don't know if that's true.
All right, you guys start talking. I'm gonna fact check that.
You'll fact check
crazy.
That was pretty close though, because Mikal had some great moments in the series. I don't think he had a great like end to end series, but he definitely stepped up and like won them some games just with like having great fourth quarters or great fourth quarter stops. And the head was in the right place. So,
can you guess who that was?
Is this Prez? Actually, no. Is this Sam?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm out of luck. I have no idea.
All right,
I'll give you one more guess. And your hint is this person did not appear in the first.
That's why I said Sam, because I feel like Sam definitely got in on one of these at some point.
The person said he averaged 4 points per game. Are you reading that?
Against Boston in the regular season?
No. 13.8 points against Boston.
I said 3.8.
You said 3.8.
Oh, my fault. Sorry.
13.8 is correct. He had 14, 14, 11, and 16. Yeah.
Okay, my fault.
I was like, 4 points per game. My God, I should have fact checked that shit. How did that make it to print? Okay, so who said this? Was this one me?
No, this was Colin, in fact.
Finally. Okay.
Cool.
Again, that's pretty close. I mean, I don't remember his actual averages in the Boston series, right? Like I don't know this.
I literally have his game log up in front of me, so let us
know what the game logs were.
He averaged in that series. Fuck, where's my?
He averaged 14.7 points.
Yeah, 14.7. Yeah, he shot 47.5% from the field or from 2, 33.3% from 3.
Oof. He didn't have like some amazing series, but it felt like a major step up from what he was in regular season.
It was just because he had those like couple really, really good fourth quarters. Obviously, the game winning block on Tatum or the game winning like pass deflection, whatever on Tatum. Like I think that played bigger than his performance throughout the entire series. But still, it was a good series for him. I would say that it was above average compared to what his average was for the season in terms of like not disappearing and stuff, which was good.
I think that's fair. The next take is going to be Thibs shows a level of creativity and adaptability on both ends that we haven't seen from him in the Knicks tenure. The Celtics miss a lot of shots. The Celtics miss a lot of shots they'd usually make, and probably a little luck.
That one was me.
That is correct. That. And you my friend, you cooked on that one.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Adaptability, Celtics missing shots, and some luck. I fucking nailed it, huh?
You fucking nailed it.
Damn.
How does it feel to be on, takes from Bozos and have a take that you absolutely nailed?
Like we can't even
good. Right? We can't even trash you for it. Like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, this is the only reason I came on here because I knew I was going to crush it. I'm 2 for 2 on both these series so far, apparently. So that's pretty cool. I didn't realize. I actually did not look back and like think about what I wrote or anything. So it actually is kind of funny. I did do quite well on these first two.
This is why we do takes. we're evaluating everyone's opinion. We're going to see how they age, how they don't age. It's always fun.
Yeah. Granted, that was also a pretty like lukewarm take too. That was pretty like that was not exactly groundbreaking. Like it was just kind of like
no. It was groundbreaking. The fact that it ends up being correct.
Yeah, I guess so. I refuse to give myself credit for anything ever, but yeah, sure. We'll go with that. I'll let you give me credit.
The next take will be the Knicks defend pick and pops the best they have all year. They got some bad they get some bad shooting nights from Boston and dominate the glass on both ends. They're not afraid of switching and being smart in gaps when the help is necessary. The lineups fluctuate to not only match the opposing team, but to win with minutes through either 3-point shooting, 5 out, or rebounding double bigs. Campaign wins them a game, and McBride, OG, McHale shoot 40% or better from 3. Some of that was good. The other half,
there was a lot of that was like 9 takes in there.
Yeah,
that
was a lot of
different things. Yeah,
it's basically how they're going to win. I would say this person was 50-50 on.
Was that
on
Shaq?
nailing it?
Was that Shaq?
That was Shaq's. Campaign definitely didn't have a moment.
He won them the series by getting DMP'd.
Yeah,
the minute they went to 7-man, that was when we won. Let's go.
That is true. But the first part, right? Like they played, they had the bad shooting nights. The double big worked, right? Like that was ultimately key. And then the last take from this series is Knicks execute on defense without significantly giving up easy threes after picks and penetration, recovering swiftly on a string. Tatum is driven by McHale and OG to a tough shot-making series and hits a below-average number of said tough shots. On offense, the Knicks destroy them on the offensive glass thanks to some impact of the double big minutes. Additionally, Cat gets up 6 to 7 threes per game. Finally, they get at least 2 magnet ball games from three of the 2. Get magnet ball games from 3 from 2 of either McHale, Deuce, or Campaign.
Okay.
So you know who I think this is, and you know why I think it is who I think it is? I think this is Prez because all the points where it says the Knicks, I'm fairly certain was one of the spots where Prez wrote we, and I had to change it to the Knicks instead of we because Prez is not on the Knicks. And he always does that in his writing and says, we can do this. It's like, no, we can't. The Knicks can.
You nailed it. It very much was Prez. Yeah, it was Prez. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think the shooting part. I think us identifying, like us as staff identifying, like the double big lineup is going to be a big reason why that they win in the Celtics series. I think that was the big factor in that one. And of course, the Celtics absolutely collapsing and just tripling down on 3-point shooting, which is just not a smart idea. Yeah. Especially in the playoffs in a limited series. Like it's crazy to me that teams are still willing to do that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was all they had. Like that was all they knew from the regular season. It wasn't like it was either that or they try something that they hadn't gone to all year.
They also got so destroyed by the fact that Porzingis was just
cooked. He should have not played. Like he should have just not played. I think after games 1 and 2 it was pretty clear that like he did not have it, and I think the fact that they kept trying it and being like, oh, maybe he'll have it tonight, or he's feeling better, or they have him on this like I don't know. He was like taking IVs and shit, and they're like, oh, this will fix him, and no, he was cooked. He did not have it. They should have just like DMP'd him through the rest of the series.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up now. Pacers series. Oh man, this is a rough one. This is
a train wreck.
I think I missed this one too, so I'm not going to know these ones as well. There's not going to be the
So this is Here's the prompt that we're going to evaluate. Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges are newcomers to the Knicks Pacer postseason. OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson missed most of last year's series. Which of those 4 stand out to make the biggest impact this round?
It's like, even like in retrospect, it's like tough to pick one of these 4 that made the biggest impact in the series, because like all 4 made very like unique impacts in unique games, and like it's hard to really like. I don't think one of these 4 jumps out as being like a real swing player in the series. So it's hard
Oh,
to
I
have
do.
a,
I
like,
think it was.
perfect
I
take.
actually think they do. I think it was Karl Anthony Towns was the biggest swing.
Probably,
I
but I don't think he sticks out like huge compared to the other three, because I think the other three all had games where they were like important in the series.
Yeah, I would
Towns
say
had a
like Cat or
20-point
maybe
fourth
Mitch.
quarter.
Yeah, he saved their season in game 3. But besides those games, like I think the rest of them are all kind of on the same level.
All right,
Let's
here's
see.
the first take. This series is potentially the matchup Leon Rose had in mind last summer when he pulled the trigger, giving up virtually all the Knicks draft capital to land Bridges. Last year, the Knicks really struggled to contain the Pacers' dribble penetration, and their lack of size and length on the perimeter was a major issue as injuries mounted. Mikal's durability and defensive versatility were central to the Knicks' acquisition of him. Both need to be maxed out this series for the Knicks to win. Guess what? That was actually correct in that they needed Mikal to show up, and he, in fact, did not show up.
Yeah, that was spot on. Unfortunately, it
spot
didn't
on.
happen.
Is this Luka?
No,
Is that Colin?
it is not Colin.
Maybe
I'll give you one
Schwinn?
more guess. That was Schwinn.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah,
It was a good take, but the bad execution on the part of Mikal.
the Knicks, yeah,
and Thibs, honestly.
Yeah, they needed to. The fact that they refused to this was a series that we saw Indiana do it too. Everyone needed to pick up full court. We saw it, right? Like you needed to pick up full court, and especially for the Pacers, you need to prevent them from getting into their easy actions. And the Knicks allowed that for what, 3 games?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was absolutely insane to watch that happen. And yeah, the Knicks needed Mikal to slow down Halliburton, and he decided to finally pick him up full court. What it felt like game 7. There was no game 7, but like it felt like the series was over by the time he was like, oh, maybe I should play harder. Absolutely insane. All right, next take is before he was lost for game 3s through 6 and all but 5 minutes of game 7 versus Indiana last year, Anunoby was pouring in 28 points in 28 minutes in a game 2 two-way tour de force that put the Knicks up 2-0. The Knicks lost 4 of the following 5 games without him, but for those 5 minutes, a fully operational OG feels like a bridge too far for the Pacers to cross. Guess what? They crossed that bridge.
They did.
They did. They crossed it with a healthy OG. Who wrote that take?
I'll let Zach guess because I've been guessing too good.
I haven't been guessing good at all.
I know. I'll let you go first so we can see.
I also feel like this one was the one that had the least amount of responses just because it was a short turnaround time between the Pacers series and Celtics series. Is this Prez?
Yeah.
I think this is Miranda.
Yeah. That is correct. That is Miranda.
Saying something like a bridge too far, that's a Miranda.
Yeah. I gotta like look into the wording on this. I'm thinking like too much about basketball, and I need to look into the English on these things.
I've been reading all these people's things for years, so it does. I do have sort of an innate sense for who writes how.
Yeah. Zach, you just need to pay attention to the language because like each one of us, like Perez writes a certain way, I write a certain way, Miranda writes a certain way, Schwinn writes a certain way. There's very key things that you could like lean on and be like, oh, it's Professor does all this sort of stuff. You know what really sucks? They also needed OG, and instead he decided to be Pascal Siakam's little brother.
For most of it. I mean, he did try. Yeah, he came in a little. He was
the only way he showed up in game 6, which is really upsetting. But like, oh man. All right. The next take is the wings the Knicks deployed last year in Anunoby when he was available, and Dante DiVincenzo did a good job capitalizing off the Pacers' heavy blitzing of Jalen Brunson. They have to continue to do that to lighten the usage for Jalen Brunson. Both bigs have a chance, especially when playing together, to really challenge the Pacers in ways the Bucks and the Cavaliers front courts didn't. Towns stretches the floor better than any other big Indiana has faced and dominated them in the regular season. Robinson can clean up any mistakes on the other end. I will say, this was probably the best take.
This is probably the best take of the ones I've heard so far for this one.
Yeah, I unfortunately Thibs decided to when he decided to start Mitchell Robinson, it was like, no, he's still going to only play 16 minutes if we're going to play Josh Hart.
Or I'm going to play Mitch the entire first quarter for like a 13-minute stretch, and that was it. Then you'll never see him.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, they needed the bigs to win, and I thought actually the bigs were very dominant against Indiana, but unfortunately we couldn't get anything. But who wrote that?
I'll go. Was that one Shaq's?
No. Zach, you have a chance now to really redeem yourself with this.
Was this Prez? I'm gonna keep guessing Prez on like all these.
Oh my god, no. It was Sam.
Oh, it was Sam.
Oh my god. Okay, that was like our first Sam one.
You were the one who was like, Sam made an appearance in one of these, and now you had the opportunity.
I actually
Sam.
Like in my like blank space, I thought about guessing Sam, and then I was like, nah, I'm going back to Prez. I was gonna keep guessing Prez. Oops.
The next take is the bigs. The Pacers employ oodles of skills and zero centers who are plus rebounders. Go play some math get ball.
That sounds like Prez.
That is Prez.
Yeah.
Zach,
See,
where were you?
I was a little early.
I
I was giving Alex the grace of a guess. So, but I probably would
go out there and try to win this game. Alex is dominating you. Show some spirit and fight back.
Sorry.
The game's also almost over. We're deep in the fourth quarter. The adjustments have not been made.
I'm Thibsing this game. I'm not making the adjustment.
You're gonna make an adjustment with 3 minutes left with a 20-point deficit.
I'm going to Shambit. We need size.
Yeah, so this is it. This is the last take of the free preview again. Patreon.com/Strickland to get, which is going to be the best part of this show, which is going to be the history of Thibs takes, which is going to be so much fun. The last take is Towns is the biggest inflection point in this series and poses matchup problems. If the Pacers put Miles Turner on him, it opens up driving lanes and cutting lanes for the Knicks. While Cat's more than capable of taking Turner off the bounce, though Indiana doesn't have anyone else who can constantly defend him in the post. Can Towns establish early position down low against mismatches and make the right reads? Will he be willing to pull up from 3 or even 4-point range when he has the space? A big Cat series would go a long way towards the Knicks winning the East. It would have, but he decided to not show up in Game 6. So,
oh my god, this was a good take though. Like the first 5 games, they're pretty close. I'm trying to think like who we haven't said already. Like I'm not even like I need to like start writing down the names if I was doing this again, so I like know who's available. Is this Colin?
Colin didn't appear in this.
Oh my god!
I'll let you guess again. I think I know who it is. It's someone that I've already said that I'm pretty sure it is this time.
Doug, was this you?
No,
I wasn't in this.
Oh my god!
Because it was such like an early, like I completely missed this turnaround, so I didn't get a chance to actually talk about it.
Dude, I'm smoking this because I was just like, dude, I would have had an advantage if I actually like contributed to this or was able to like edit it or read it or something. Like Alex has a huge step up here.
I didn't edit
Don't
this
make
one though, and I've
excuses.
still nailed a couple. So I'm just saying this one escaped.
Was this Stacy?
Oh, you nailed it! Good job.
Let's go!
It was
Finally,
Stacey.
bro. Third time's the charm, man. Dude, let's go.
That actually wasn't who I
Stacey.
was going to say, so that's good. You won it outright. I was going to say Shaq's again. I thought maybe this was Shaq's.
Yeah, no, this was Stacy. So guys, that honestly, I think we did a pretty decent job assessing what needed to be done, what was going to happen, what was going to happen, what wasn't going to happen
Across the board, like not just for this series. Like I think for all 3 series, we were pretty good.
I think so. I think we did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just more reason why you should be reading our stuff, listening to our content, and all this good stuff. And that's why, again, patreon.com/Strickland, sign up. And we're going to be about to be on the other side now. So patrons, will see you there. And for the rest of you guys, see ya.